main language spoken in Quebec. That's the official language in Quebec.
Hmm.
As the rest of Canada, English is the main language spoken.
Alright, so what is your favorite part about living in Quebec?
Being able to speak French wherever I go.
Yeah, I think that.
And also having the change of seasons.
Okay. And, what are the people in Quebec like?
We're known to be very friendly and always wanting to help people.
Okay.
I think that would be the best way of saying it.
Alright, does anyone in your family speak a language other than French?
Yes, my grandmother speaks English. And let's see who else in my family. Everyone can kind of speak English, but not much. Not as much as I do.
So is there any reason why they learn other languages?
Because it's easy. Because French is the only language that's really spoken everywhere, so people don't really learn much other than English.
Okay. So what do the people in Quebec have any needs that are different from the rest of Canada?
Repeat that?
Do people in Quebec have any different needs than other Canadians?
Different needs. No, I think it's about the same. Maybe just the language would be different. And we do think that we are a separate society as we are unique because of our language and our heritage.
Okay. How do people in your family talk about the Canadian people in other regions?
How do we talk about it? Sometimes it could be very negative. Some of my cousins and uncles don't really like English speakers.
Okay. So, how do people in your neighborhood feel about the other regions?
I grew up in a neighborhood that was very multicultural and multi-ethnic with a lot of immigrants. So I would say that they didn't really care about the rest. They didn't really have a problem about other regions of Canada. But I would say that depending where you live, you might have more of that problem.
Okay. So have you ever traveled to any other parts of Canada?
Yes, I have. I've been to Calgary and to Banff, which is in Alberta. It's in the Rocky Mountains. And I've also been to New Brunswick, which is north of Maine. And of course I've been to Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. But that's about it.
Why did you go to there? Why'd you go to all those different places?
How did I go there?
Why?
Oh, why? To visit.
Just to visit?
Yes, just to visit and, to see how it would be.
Okay, so do the Canadians vote for the Prime Minister like we vote for the President?
Yes, but it's a little different. We don't have, you know how in the States you could only vote twice, right? You could only do 2 terms. In Canada, it's unlimited. So Prime Minister can be voted for years and years. Like one of them was a few years ago, Jean Chrétien. It's spelled Chretien. And his first name looks like Jean, like in English, but it means John in French. And he was there for, I think, 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Only vote in November. That's the only time of the year we vote.
Holy cannoli, that's a long time.
Yep.
Okay, so have you ever wished that you could live in a different part of Canada?
Yes, actually. I would love to go visit Vancouver, and I would love to stay there one time, at one point in my life, because it's much warmer. It's not as cool as the rest of Canada. So you're on the East Coast, so it's right north of Seattle.
Okay. How does the government in Canada try to make all the different regions happy?
Because it separates the wealth equally between the different regions, depending on how many people live in those regions, and depending on their cultural heritage and what they have to, what they request and what they can offer back to tourism and things like that.
Is it easy for them to please every region?
No, because some regions are not as habited as others, so they don't get as much. And some regions, like some provinces, are not as happy as others. And the same thing with some provinces have a lot of resources they have to offer, and they don't feel it's fair to share everything equally.
Mm. Okay, so which languages can you speak?
I can speak French, English, and a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah, I learned a bit of French and Spanish. Okay, so do you know much about regionalism?
Not much.
Hmm. Huh. Well, when did you learn about the fact that there's tension between the different groups of Canada?
Yes, I know that.
When did you learn?
You kind of learn it as you grow up. Kind of like here with racial tensions, it's about the same thing with the different language.
Do you feel a lot of pride in your region like most others do?
Yes.
Okay, you think that the regionalism makes Canada different than what we have in U.S.?
Repeat that?